Hey, what's going on everyone? This is Kedar here, and today in this video we are going to discuss a very important topic for all the parents, the child tax credit. Today in this video we will be going to check out all the details on child tax credit, what are the exact requirements, and how can you claim your child tax credit. When can you expect your child tax credit refund? Who qualifies for the child tax credit? So generally there is 7 tests you need to qualify for your child, and you know what? You may be eligible for credit up to $2,000 and $1,500 may be refundable. Depending on how much your income exceeds that threshold, the credit gets immediately reduced until it is finally eliminated. So let's check out the exact details. If you are watching this video as a parent, you know that the financial struggle that comes with raising a child, from diapers to school supplies, and it seems like there is never have been enough money to go around. But what if I told you there is a way to get some much needed help, the financial relief, and also save money on your taxes? That's right, it's possible with the child tax credit in the 2023. So whether you are a new parent or just starting out on a seasoned parent looking to save money, the child tax credit is a valuable opportunity you don't want to miss out. Alright guys, so without further ado, let's jump right into all the important details. However, quickly before we do, make sure to do me a favor, subscribe to our channel How To Guys, be sure all the bell notification turn on. Whether it's benefits, raises to your benefits, we have got tons of updates onto our channel. Stimulus update, statewide stimulus. Be sure to check this out. Who knows, you could be eligible for additional stimulus money. And guys, without further ado, let's jump right into all the details. Alright guys, so the child tax credit is a federal tax benefit, and usually people with the kids under the age of 17 may be eligible to claim the child tax credit worth up to $2,000 per qualifying dependent. When they file their 2022 tax return in the 2023, they can get $1,500 of that credit as a refundable credit. Now, what is child tax credit? Well, child tax credit, commonly referred as a CTC, is a tax credit available to taxpayer with dependent children under age 17. In order to claim the credit, when you file your taxes, you have to prove to the IRS that you and your child meet the specific criteria. Speaking of the criteria, you'll need to show that your income falls beneath a certain threshold, because the credit phases out in increments after a certain limit is hit. If your modified adjusted gross income exceeds the ceiling, the credit amount you get may be very small, and you may be deemed ineligible altogether if you surpass those thresholds. That brings us to the next important point: who qualifies for the child tax credit? Well, taxpayers can get the child tax credit for the 2022 tax year when they file for their tax return in 2023. So generally, there is 7 tests you need to qualify for your child. First one being age. Well, your child must be under the age 17 at the end of the 2022 in order to be eligible. Speaking of the second criteria, relationship, the child you are claiming must be your son, daughter, stepchild, foster child, brother, sister, half-brother, half-sister, stepbrother, stepsister, a descendant of any of these people like grandchild, niece, nephew. All those relationships are eligible for the child tax credit. Speaking of the dependent status, you must be able to properly claim the child as a dependent. The child also cannot file a joint tax return unless they file it to claim a refund of withheld income taxes or estimated taxes paid. Fourth requirement is residency. The child you are claiming must have lived with you for at least half of the year, and there are some exceptions to this rule. Speaking of the fifth requirement, it's the financial support. You must have provided at least half of the child support during the last year. In other words, if you are a qualified child, then you must financially supported themselves for more than 6 months. Otherwise, they are likely considered as a not qualified. Sixth important requirement is citizenship. As per the IRS, your child must be a US citizen, US national, or US resident or alien, and you must hold a valid social security number as well. Speaking of the seventh important requirement, it's the income. Well, parents or caregivers claiming the credit also typically can't exceed certain income requirements. Depending on how much your income exceeds that threshold, the credit gets immediately reduced until it is finally eliminated. So let's check out the exact details. Well, how you can calculate the child tax credit. Well, for the 2022 tax year, the child tax credit worth up to $2,000 per qualifying dependent if your modified adjusted gross income is $400,000 or below, if you are married filing jointly, or $200,000 or below for all the other filers. And let's say if your modified adjusted gross income exceeds those limits, then your credit amount will be reduced by $50 for each $1,000 income exceeding the threshold of $400,000 for married and $200,000 for all the others. At some point, your benefit will be eliminated if you cross your threshold too much. Child tax credit is also partially refundable tax credit, so it can reduce your tax bill on a dollar for dollar basis. So you might be able to apply for a tax refund worth up to $1,500 for anything left over, and this partially refundable portion is called additional child tax credit by IRS. Now, how to claim this credit? Well, you can claim the child tax credit on Form 1040 or 1040-SR. You'll need to fill out the Schedule 8812, the credit for qualifying children and other dependents. This needs to be submitted alongside with your 1040 form, and this schedule will help you figure out the child tax credit amount and if you are applicable and how much partial refund you may be eligible to claim. Most of the quality tax software can guide you through the claiming process, and you can take a guidance from a professional tax professional. You might be also get away with the pre-tax software IRS pre-file tool, so it can simplify the process and even do auto filing of the forms on your behalf. So you can check out the IRS pre-file tool for easier tax filing. Now, when can you expect your child tax credit refund? Well, IRS cannot release an additional child tax credit refund before mid-February as per the agency. Looks like early filers who selected direct deposit as their refund method, and speaking of those people who e-filed and submitted an error-free tax return, could begin seeing the refunds hitting their accounts by February 28. If you want to check out the status, then you can check out on wheres.my refund tool provided by the IRS. Now, talking about some of the frequently asked question, is child tax credit taxable? Well, no, it's partially refundable tax credit, which means it can lower your tax bill and you have no liability. You may be able to get a portion of the credit back in the form of a refund. Well, child tax credit and a child and dependent care credit, is it the same thing? Well, actually no, it's another type of a tax benefit for the taxpayer with children qualifying dependents that covers a percentage of their expenses you made for their care. It covers expenses such as daycare, certain type of camp or babysitters. So child tax credit and dependent care credit is different thing. Also, let's say if you had a baby in 2022, then are you eligible to claim the child tax credit when you file in 2023? Well, if you meet the other requirements, then yes, you are eligible. Also, you'll need to make sure that child has social security number by the due date of the 2022 return, including the extensions. So this tax season, make sure to file all the important documents alongside with the form 1040. Make sure to complete your schedule 8812 for qualifying child and other dependents. Make sure you list your children and other dependents on your form 1040. And with that being said, I hope you found this video helpful. So make sure to hit that like, that really helps us. Be sure to subscribe to our channel How To Guys with all the bell notification. Do check out other videos from our channel, and this is Kedar from How To Guys signing out.